A Hungarian camera operator has been fired for literally kicking children. Oh, this is great. Now, the camerawoman goes by the name of Petra Laszlo, was recently caught on tape tripping and kicking refugee children as they fled from Hungarian police. Now, check this video out. Yeah, that guy looked pissed. But if you were just tripped by a camera woman, you'd be kind of pissed too. How low can you go? That's the question. How low can you go? I mean, you're tripping refugees. Literally, for no reason. You're kicking kids. What the fuck? Well, this woman, this woman worked for N1 TV. Now, this N1 TV is a far-right nationalist internet TV station, right? That's connected to the Jobbik Party. Now, the Jobbik Party is also far-right nationalistic. You can kind of see why she would be kicking immigrants, right? Now, after this video surfaced, N1 TV said that Laszlo had been dismissed due to unacceptable behavior. Now, at least they did the right thing by saying, hey man, you can't do that in there. You gotta get out of here. Makes us look bad. Well, no, your rhetoric makes you look bad, but hey, nonetheless, good decision. Now, The Guardian had reported, as well as speeches made by the Jobbik leader Gabor Vona, the channel's website also contains articles with such headlines as migrants have swarmed all over the shops and Guantanamo equals Hungary. So, there you go. That's kind of what the Jobbik Party is about. Now, The Guardian also reports that the surge in xenophobia has also coincided with a pointed government anti-immigration campaign, which critics say is aimed at shoring up faltering support for the ruling Fidesz party and divert attention from escalating poverty and corruption scandals. Now, Fidesz, which is, I guess, the dominant party right now, has lost ground to the far-right Jobbik Party since the autumn, and it's running a Hungarian-language billboard campaign that the UN has denounced for stirring up xenophobic attitudes, ostensibly aimed at illegal migrants. It features slogans that tell them to, you should respect Hungarian culture and laws, and warns that if you come to Hungary, you should not take Hungarians' jobs. They're coming for your jobs, man. Coming for your jobs. No. If you come to Hungary, you can't have our jobs. I didn't know that was an issue. Okay. Now, it also sent voters a, quote, national consultation questionnaire that critics say equates immigration with terrorism. Terrorism. So here's the thing here, right? Do you really expect people who are fed this kind of far-right anti-immigrant sentiment to not do horrible things to immigrants when given the chance? It's almost like the Trump supporters that beat up that homeless Latino man and then literally pissed on him while saying Trump was right. We need to deport these illegals. These illegals need to be deported now. You just beat this guy up with a metal pipe and then pissed in his face. And you're saying he's the criminal? For being here supposedly illegally? He's the criminal. We're just putting him in their place. Now, Trump, it took a while for Trump to denounce this attack, because when he first heard about it, or was questioned about it, he said, well, I have passionate supporters. They just want to make America great again by pissing in people's face. What are we all, R. Kelly now? Christ. Yeah, and that's the problem. Okay? People that have clout, people like Donald Trump, people that have a platform in the government, keep sending and saying terrible things. Okay? Illegal immigrants are rapists and murderers. I'm sure some of them are fine, but most of them probably aren't. Immigrants are terrorists. They're stealing good American jobs. They're taking your welfare. This is the kind of stuff we hear about immigrants all the time. You realize immigrants do a lot of the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Remember, I believe in Arizona we chased out all the illegal immigrants. And then no Americans stepped in to do those jobs that illegal immigrants were doing. Because the pay was shit, right? The pay was shit. It's hard, backbreaking work. And Americans are like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. The job sucks. They're not stealing your jobs. Look, and anyway, that's not even the immigrants' fault if they do get a good job. It's the fault of the company that hires them. Now, I'm in support of punishing employers that hire illegal immigrants. Because they shouldn't be doing that. Because that's a way to skirt labor protections and to lower wages. It's not the immigrants' fault. They'll take a job because it's better than what they had. But it's also better than starving in the street. So yeah, I don't blame them at all for that. Blame the employer for that. But anyway, they can't even get a lot of welfare. And most of them, when they do work, they pay into taxes. Unless they're paid under the table, which, once again, that should be punishable. Because they shouldn't get paid like that. I'm just saying. Now, this is the message that a lot of people hear. Is it any wonder that you have people getting violent towards migrants? Now, I understand that a lot of these countries that are facing the Syrian refugees are having a hard time handling the number, just the sheer number of immigrants coming in. I get it. I know. I also know, and it's a really good point to bring up, that a lot of the Gulf states are not taking refugees. Places like Qatar, places like Saudi Arabia, they're not taking any of these migrants. That's a valid point, and you could have a discussion on that and their hypocrisy, right, of not being able to take in refugees at all, leaving it up to European countries and even America. But, another thing too. I understand also that some people are questioning whether or not some of these people in there could be ISIS infiltrators. It's possible, but for the most part, I think that these are just normal people that are trying to escape war and oppression and even sometimes poverty. Now, you might see some of them and say, well, they're not that bad off. Some of them are well dressed. Think of that young drowned Syrian boy found off the coast of Turkey. He was well dressed. You could say he was doing pretty well until he had to flee his home and then drown. You could even point out how some of them have iPhones, but that doesn't matter. None of that matters when your home is literally destroyed. That's what I'm saying. You might be well off when you're there, but you're not well off if a tank drives through your fucking house and destroys all your shit. What are you left with? You're left with nothing. Nothing except for what you can carry with you. People tend to forget that. Another thing people tend to forget is that war, it affects everyone. It affects everyone. It affects the poor, of course. It also affects people who are middle class. People that had good lives have found that destroyed by the civil war that's happening in Syria, as well as the fighting in Iraq, as well as the spread of ISIS. And look, on ISIS, we're partly to blame for that, whether you could admit it or not. And finally, look, we can't forget that these people are human beings. And sadly, unlike this horrible woman who decided to physically lash out at these people and trip them as they are running by, most people, I'm glad to hear, are actually generally sympathetic to their plight. People in Germany, for example, with signs saying, welcome immigrants. There's 10,000 people in Iceland that said, we will invite Syrian refugee families and children into our homes, and we'll teach them Icelandic. We'll teach them and we'll show them that we're good people. Hell, I saw a story in Germany, for example, that a lot of Syrian Muslims that came over are converting to Christianity due to the kindness of people in Germany. I don't care what religion you are. I'm an atheist. I don't care what religion you are. As long as you're a good person, that's all I care about. And so it's good to see them being so open and so welcoming and doing their best to welcome these refugees. That's a good thing. Because they're seeing them as people. People are people, man. It doesn't matter where you're from. People are people. We have to remember that. Look, the point is we need less hate in this world. Okay, we do. We already have too much hate in this world. We need less, not more.